Spider-Man, brand new day. Trailer analysis. Alright, so watching this trailer, the first thing that stands out is how different the tone feels. At 0:26, you immediately get the sense that Peter Parker is completely alone. No one remembers him, and honestly, that hits harder than any action scene. It doesn't feel like a temporary situation, it feels permanent. Then, at 0:33, when he says he had to erase himself to stop something worse, that's where it really clicks. This isn't just sacrifice in the usual superhero sense. This is more like he saved everyone, but erased his own existence in the process. Now, personally, I like this idea. It's darker and more meaningful. But at the same time, I kind of feel like if they don't handle this carefully, it could get too heavy for a Spider-Man story. At 1:05, you can clearly see that being Spider-Man isn't exciting anymore. It feels like a burden. And that's a big shift, because usually Spider-Man struggles, but he still has something to hold on to. Here, he doesn't. And that's where things get interesting, but also risky. At 1:34, the DNA mutation part is introduced. Now, this is where I'm a bit unsure. Like, I get what they're trying to do, making the conflict internal. But if they push this too far, it might start feeling less like Spider-Man and more like a completely different kind of story. At 1:51, the idea of an invisible threat is actually pretty intriguing. It suggests something you can't just punch your way through. And honestly, I like that. It raises the stakes in a smart way. But again, it depends on execution. If it's too abstract, the audience might not connect with it. Then towards the end, around 2:17 to 2:29, you see this shift. He's not trying to get his old life back anymore. He's just moving forward, becoming the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man again. But this time, it feels different. Not hopeful exactly. More like acceptance. And I think that's the key theme here. This isn't a comeback story. It's a consequence story. Overall, I'd say this trailer is taking a bold direction. I like the emotional depth, I like the darker tone, but at the same time, I do feel like if they go too far into this heavy psychological angle, they might lose what makes Spider-Man relatable in the first place. So yeah. This could either turn into one of the most meaningful Spider-Man stories we've seen, or something that just feels a bit off for the character. There's really no safe